plead the first, American dream. I plead the first, white shirt, blue jeans. I plead the first, American dream. I plead the first, white shirt, blue jeans. I plead the first, American dream.
Hello everybody, welcome back to I Plead the First. I got an interesting episode. We're going to try to keep it short because it's a midweek episode. No, everybody's time is valuable. But I want to introduce you guys to a couple of ways of thinking. And I want to play another thought exercise, kind of like we did last time on the Monday episode. So today I'm going to read you a very short blurb out of the book Extreme Ownership by Jocko Willink. And some of you have heard me mention Jocko before. If you haven't read this book, go pick it up. The audio version of this book is read by Leif Babin and Jocko Willink, the authors, they're co-authors. It's a great version if you're not somebody that has a ton of time to read. I've read this book a couple different times. It really helped me in my latter years of my military service as a leader. It made me a better leader and helped me get through some of the biggest challenges I've had in my military career. But I'm going to read a little blurb out of this real quick, just a paragraph, and then I'm going to tie it in to why I'm bringing it up to you guys. So it starts out in the foreword. Of the many exceptional leaders we served alongside throughout our military careers, the consistent attribute that made them great was that they took absolute ownership, extreme ownership. Not just of the things for which they were responsible, but for everything that impacted their mission. These leaders cast no blame. They made no excuses. Instead of complaining about challenges or setbacks, they developed solutions and solved problems. They leveraged assets, relationships, and resources to get the job done. Their own egos took a back seat to the mission and their troops. These leaders truly led. This book is full of great stuff, and I could probably do a 2 or 3 hour episode of just me reading stuff from that book that I think would help absolutely everyone. But the reason I'm bringing and just reading just that bit of the foreword, we're 1 page into the book there. You might have noticed that in that paragraph, Jocko said the best leaders he ever served with took absolute ownership, even over the things they couldn't necessarily control. And some of you are probably thinking, that's a crazy concept. How the hell am I going to be held responsible for the weather or for whatever else that might affect a military mission or your job or whatever that's going on in your life? Well, you can have a lot of conversations on that subject, and I have had a lot of conversations on that subject. I've listened to a lot of conversations about that subject. It's something that's hard to accept right off the bat. Extreme ownership, saying, you know what, the weather canceled our mission, and that's my fault. Seems like a crazy idea, right? Well, I think somebody that's well-versed in extreme ownership would say, well, it's my fault because I didn't plan better. We could have diverted our mission, if you're talking about Air Force missions. We could have diverted our mission and moved to a different base and taken off from there because we knew weather was coming or might come. We could have changed the hours of the mission, moved it forward 2 or 3 hours to miss the weather. We could have moved it back 2 or 3 hours to miss the weather. There's a number of things you can do to miss weather, right? So that you might not think that way yet, but I'm hoping more people will think that way, or at least try to start thinking that way after this video. And you're probably asking now, why is Joe bringing this up now? Because we're not all leaders. Yes, we are. Everyone that is old enough to watch this video is a leader in some way, shape, or form. And I'm bringing this up because I'm troubled by American politics. We talk a lot of American politics on this show, on this YouTube channel. But I'm troubled by the lack of ownership that is in our political system from top to bottom. And I mean from top to bottom, from the president, Congress, the entire judiciary branch, all the way down to all their assistants and staffers, and even you and I. I have to ask the question, what have I done wrong? What have I not done enough of? If there are children in this country, and by children I mean these young 18, 19, 20-year-olds that are turning to socialism and see socialism or even communism as an answer, what have I done to allow that to happen? Really ponder that question. Your initial reaction is going to be, Joe, that's not my fault. There's nothing I can do about it. They're taking over. Calm down. If we inoculate our children, if we educate them and we make sure that they understand the things that they're going to be taught in high school and college that may lack context, or maybe from a certain point of view, if we make them understand that when they go to school, they are extremely likely to hear a liberal perspective on everything, then you're setting them up for success. You're setting them up into a situation where they will go into that situation and they will listen, but they will also question. I think what we've done is we've set our children up where we don't explain things to them, and we say really trendy, fun things like, "Oh, I let my kid decide what their politics are. I don't mess with it at all. Don't even talk to them about it." Yeah, that sounds great, man, but what it is you're actually failing as a leader. And when you're a parent, you're a leader. So, probably going to hurt some feelings with this video. There's probably going to be a few people that are ticked off at me about it. That's fine. I'll take ownership of that, because I feel like this message needs to go out there. And ownership, this extreme ownership concept, it works in our politics. It works certainly in military situations. It works in business. The book that I just showed you, Jocko and Leif wrote that book with American business in mind. They're teaching these concepts and theories and things that they learned through combat. They're teaching that to business leaders because it can help you in a business setting. It can help you in your relationship settings. It can help you in pretty much anywhere in life. I'll leave you with this thought. Go read that book. When you're done with that book, you definitely need to pick up the sequel to that book, which is Dichotomy of Leadership. And Dichotomy of Leadership is important to read after you read the book I just showed you, Extreme Ownership, because it talks about the balance of things, right? And everything has a balance. Everything has a dichotomy. It's Jocko's favorite word. But it's important to have that and kind of know, hey, any too much of one thing can be a problem, to include extreme ownership. So it's an interesting theory. It's an interesting way of thinking about everything. So try to maybe go online, do a little research, watch some of Jocko's early videos on his podcast, maybe read, and start applying some of these theories and some of these ways of thinking to your life. And I would recommend start doing it with your children or your spouse, and see if things don't work out a little bit better for everyone involved. It's not a selfish motivation. It just works better for everybody. When somebody comes to you with a problem and you say, "You know what, you're right. I could have done that better. I could have done this better. I could have communicated better," and you keep the focus on you, it disarms that other person. and it puts them in a natural state of calm where you can actually start talking about the real issues, the real reasons. And you don't just take blame just to take blame. You look internally for the things that you legitimately could have done better. And I think we need to do that in all facets of our lives, especially politics and especially with our children. So that's it. That's a 10-minute video. Be a little extra when I add on the intro and such. But I'll talk to you again on Friday, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it gives you something to think about. And go check out the book. It's a good one. I've read it probably 3-4 times. Well worth it. Like, share, subscribe. Thank you guys for all the support. We appreciate you. Stay safe. See you soon.
I could really use a change of scenery. Yeah. Everybody smoking all the greenery. Yeah. Close the match 'cause they were handed down to me. But I'm still fly, I know. I'm still fly, let's go.